I believe that Christianity is the most counterculture movement in the entire world, but probably not in the way that you're thinking. When most people think about what makes Christians distinct, most people go to things like abortion, gay marriage, sex before marriage. And there's some truth to all that. Our faith calls us to live in a certain way that is sometimes in conflict with pop culture. But in themselves, they're just outward expressions. On their own, they're just politics or culture. These are not the things that make us countercultural, because these are not the things that make us Christian. The real sticking point between us and the culture, what makes us completely different from the rest of the world, is that we are a people who believe that we are better off renouncing power, wealth, and influence than seeking more of it. It is not these things that will bring us happiness or help us achieve our ultimate goals, but weakness, poverty, and surrender. Let's be honest, nobody wants to be weak. Nobody wants to be poor. Nobody wants to surrender to another person. Even some Christians watching this might be thinking that that sounds awful, that this has nothing to do with the faith they believe in. Power, wealth, and influence can be used for good, they'll say. I mean, maybe. But Jesus never used any of it. He never sought even an ounce of it. In fact, he humbled himself to come among us, giving up all the power in the universe. He became poor to be on the side of the poor. He submitted to the will of God, even though that meant handing over his life to bad people. It was not through power, wealth, or influence that God accomplished our salvation. These are not the things that change hearts or inspire movements. It was the cross that did this. Jesus' willingness to be absolutely powerless, trusting completely in the Father, and handing his Spirit over to him. It was this perfect act of obedience that changed the world. Which is why it is so scary to me when I see church leaders seeking more power, more wealth, and more influence. When they let the idea creep in that we just need a little bit more of it to spread the message. We're using it for God, right? But this is not how God works. This is how the world works, and why true Christians, those who are actual disciples of Jesus Christ, make their life about renouncing power, wealth, and influence, and adopting more weakness, poverty, and surrender, proving that they trust in God above all else.